VANA is the 60-second project on the Binance Launchpool, and I have spent the entire day learning what VANA is. And trust me, VANA is not just another AI or deep pin project. There is so much more than that. This video, I'll give you my breakdown of what VANA is, how does it work, how do you earn with VANA, what's the difference between VANA and similar protocols like Grass, for example, and as always, looking at the VANA Binance Launchpool, how to participate, and predicting the price of VANA after listing on Binance. Let's go. Before we begin, make sure to follow VANA on their socials like X and also follow Binance for the latest updates. And this is the official announcement from Binance saying that VANA is on the Binance Launchpool, the 60-second project. The trading will start at about 10 a.m. UTC at December 16, but we will come back to this in a little bit. For now, let's learn what VANA is. Right off the bat, VANA on their bio on X said that they are the first open protocol for data sovereignty, user-owned AI through user-owned data. So from reading this, people would think that, okay, so VANA allows users to own their own data somehow and then create their own AI, right? User-owned AI. Well, actually, that's not what's happening here, because the whole idea behind VANA, after reading through all of these blogs, from what I think, is allowing users to contribute their own data, personal data, to the VANA network, and in return, the users earn rewards based on the data that they provided. So where is the user-owned AI from? Like, can you create AI, like your own AI agents on VANA? Well, actually you can if you know how to, obviously. What VANA is providing is like a data layer, right, of users' data that they own, that they choose to provide to VANA, right? They provide that data to AI companies and AI researchers because you as a user decide which data to provide to VANA to train the AI. In theory, you kind of like shape, you know, the AI according to how you like it and according to the data that you provide. Unlike the centralized entities, for example, like ChatGPT, right, where they just take your data and you don't get a say in how they're gonna take the data and what kind of data they take. With VANA, you can actually choose which data you want to share and how the AI companies can use your data. But that's how it is. That's how you shape the future of AI. I know that that's a little bit much to unpack, so let's dive into the next part, and I hope after this one you will understand what VANA is in details. This is how you contribute data to VANA, and you know, basically what is the VANA process. Okay, so the question is, how do you start contributing your personal data to VANA? Well, through something that's called the DataDAOs. The DataDAOs, in simple terms, are the DAOs, right, decentralized autonomous organizations that target specific data categories. So on VANA, there are specific categories for specific data. Okay, the users contribute specific data, that data, to a matching DAO and earn rewards based on that data only. So, for example, there is a DAO called the Reddit DAO, alright, r/DataDAO on VANA, which is this one right here, which basically requires the users to contribute their Reddit data history to earn rewards. Right? So you can log in, right? Get started with your Reddit username. Just log in with your Reddit username, connect your email and wallet address, and then like send your Reddit browsing history to, you know, the r/DataDAO from VANA, and then you immediately earn rewards from doing that. There's also another DAO called the Mind DAO, I believe, that sort of like requires this specific data called the mood data from the users, trading activities, and then the trading behaviors, research on the human's emotional well-being, something like that, right? But yeah, there are different data DAOs that requires different data from users. All right, it's not like a one place. You don't just send all of your data to VANA. Okay, you have to choose specific DAOs and specific data according to those DAOs that you want to contribute. A user can export their private data from, you know, any platform, for example like Reddit, right, and host their data in a personal server secured by a private encryption key. This is how you sort of like control your own data, right? It is encrypted, nobody can access it. Okay, only you get the right to say who can access my data and, you know, like which data you can access. And then you can join a data collective, aka the DataDAO, right, the Reddit DAO, for example, on VANA, that pools all of the users' data in a similar category. In this specific example, the Reddit browsing history, for example. These collectives, known as DataDAO, can negotiate, right? This is the very interesting part. These DAOs can negotiate with researchers training AI models or application developers to pay for usage of the pooled data. When the data is bought by external developer, contributors to the data pool are remunerated. So what this means is basically after you send your data to the Reddit DAO, right? And then the Reddit DAO will negotiate the deals with the AI researchers, saying like, hey, if you want to use our members' data, you have to pay us like this amount, or you have to do this, you have to do that. Basically, give us rewards, right? Money, incentives, right? And then you, as the contributor, the data contributor to the Reddit DAO, you can actually vote, on how, the companies can, incentivize you. Basically a DAO, right? You can vote on how they choose they collect the data, what they would do to the data, basically what kind of rewards you're going to get with the data. Okay, so after everything goes through, the proposals and everything, the AI companies agree on giving us the incentives. How does the Reddit DAO is going to distribute these rewards accordingly to our contribution? What do we earn specifically? So each DAO, right, each data DAO has their own DLPs, okay, which is the data liquidity tokens, all right, liquidity pool tokens. This is very, very important, but it's very easy to understand. All right? If you've been in DeFi, that you would understand what liquidity pool token is. Okay, so basically, what that means is there are 16, right? There are 16 data DAOs at the moment. Okay, this is the list of the 16 data DAOs, I believe, right? Ecosystem, right? Look at this. You can scroll through. There are 16 of them, and each of these data DAOs have their own tokens. For example, the Mind DAO that I mentioned, they have the Mind token. The Reddit DAO, the Data DAO, r/Data DAO, has their own token called the RDAT, the Redat token, right? So each DAO has their own token. Once you provide your data to these DAOs, you will get a corresponding amount of DLTs. In this case, the Redat token from Reddit DAO, right? And you will earn two things based on your amount of holding. First of all, it's the direct rewards from the AI companies. Okay? Again, if you have a lot of DLP, Redat token, you will earn more rewards. Just like how you provide liquidity. You know what I mean? Just like how you provide liquidity in a liquid staking solution. You get back the liquid token, right? And based on the amount of money that you put in this case, the data and the quality of the data that you put in, you would get more liquidity token. And in this case, more DLP. And the more DLP you have, the more APR or APY you're gonna get, right? Rewards, basically. In this case, it might not be APYs, it might be something else, depending on how the AI companies and how the DAO negotiate, with the companies. But it's gonna be some sort of rewards, right? Incentives. So that's one, right? Direct benefit, direct rewards from the AI companies. The second one is you can stake the DLP, just like a liquid staking solution. You can restake, but in this case, you can stake the DLP token, the Redat, to earn the VANA token emission. Okay, and VANA is the mainnet token, official token of VANA. So VANA is like a layer, like a data layer, right? And there will be different data DAOs built on top of VANA, right? You can stake DLP to earn VANA tokens emissions, and the VANA token emissions are split between the top 16 based on a set of performance metrics governed by the VANA DAO. So I believe right now there are 16 DAOs, but in the future there will be like hundreds of data DAOs being born on VANA. And so depending on their performance, VANA DAO will determine, okay, so who are the top 16? If they are the top 16, they will allocate like a percentage of the VANA token to the 16, and the holders of those DLP token will earn VANA tokens. If your DAO, right, if your data DAO is not within the top 16, you only earn the direct rewards from the AI company, not the VANA token. Your job is basically choose the correct DAO to be contributing your data to. You don't want to be contributing to sort of ineffective DAO that don't really earn anything, right? Not in the top 16, right? So yeah, that's basically what it is. And so the next question is, can I buy or sell the DLP token, the RADAT token from DataDAO? I think yes, as long, because this is like an on-chain token, has like a fixed supply, as long as there is liquidity added to the RADAT like DLP token, I'm sure you can buy and sell and trade it, and the value of this token, I guess, is gonna depend on how obviously profitable the Reddit DAO is, like how many AI companies and researchers willing to work with Reddit DAO and offer incentives, and then what are their performances, are they at the top? Obviously the top performing DAO, they're gonna have a lot of value, right? Their own DLP tokens is gonna have more value than the 16th ranking, so yeah, you can buy or sell it. All right, and the next question is, how does these VANA DAOs, right, determine my data value? That's the question. If you look at the normal DeFi liquid staking protocols, it's very easy to determine, right? It is determined by the amount of money that you put in. The more money you put in, the more liquid tokens you're gonna get. But in this case, it is data. It is my personal data. How do you value my personal data more than the other one? Like, how do you determine that? I think it's actually quite easy. Obviously, if you have a fake or a copied or even like a bot data, then you won't earn much, from VANA or from the DataDAOs specifically, right? I think the prime example, the closest example that I can think of, is the X Creator program. I don't know if you know it, but basically, if you're on Twitter or X, and if you are a creator, and if you have a lot of followings, like a few thousands, up to like millions of followers, if your posts have organic contents, a lot of impressions, a lot of interactions, comments, whatever, then X will pay you a certain amount of dollars to your PayPal account after every 2 weeks or like a month, right? That's the X Creator program. They pay you based on the quality of your post, based on the interactions of your post. So I think that is similar to how the DataDAOs on VANA determine the quality and the value of your data. Obviously, different DAOs have different data requirements. Hence, there's going to be different metrics to determine. I'm just giving you an example of like a Reddit or a Twitter DAOs and how they're going to do it. There are other DAOs like the on-chain DAO, which tracks like transactions and volumes and history of interaction and how degen you are, right? So there's going to be a different metrics. But in this case, I'm just giving you an example of how social media DAOs is going to be like. Okay, so just read this through and then I'm going to explain further. So each DAO, right, they're going to have a unique proof of contribution. Okay, so what is the unique proof of contribution? Is what I just said. All right, they will implement their own proof of contribution function tailored to the specific type of data that it handles, as different forms of data have inherently different measures of quality and value. For instance, a DLP focused on financial data might prioritize factors like transaction accuracy, completeness of records, and consistency of reporting in its scoring mechanism. In contrast, a social media focused DLP might weigh factors such as user engagement levels, account longevity, and content interaction metrics for more heavily, just like how X Creator program does it. You know what I mean? For the health data, a DLP might emphasize data freshness, frequency of measurements, and device accuracy rating. So like how maybe on your phone there is like a health app. Maybe if you exercise a lot, if you do a lot of activities, your data might be more valuable than someone who's like me, sitting at home, not really doing anything, and yeah, so if you are a big creator on X, on Reddit, if you have a lot of karma on Reddit, if your post has a lot of comments, whatever, right, you and your data will be more valuable than someone who is a new user on X, doesn't have any followers, don't really have a lot of interactions, and not quality of a post. You know what I mean? In order to understand closely about this sort of data, you have to look at specific DAO's requirements and how they determine these values. This is just like an overall way of how they determine it. And so now that you understand how it works in details, right? What VANA is, what are the DataDAOs, how can you earn on VANA, how it works specifically, and how they value your data. There are a few other questions, right? So they said that you can actually own your own data. Are we actually in control of our own data? The answer is very much yes. Again, there are 4 core pillars of VANA network, right? So the data ownership records, the access permissions, the validation proofs, the on-chain data collective contracts, and token balances. And what that means is, again, when you send your data to the DataDAOs, then you own the your own encryption key, right? So your data is stored very privately, nobody can access it but you. You get to choose, right, who can access your data and what kind of data they can access under what conditions as well. That's very fair, that's very decentralized, and I think that's like the dream of decentralized AI and decentralized, data. The next question is, so what are the major differences between VANA and similar platform or protocols, for example, like Grass? Okay, so first of all, Grass, if you don't know what Grass is, this is Grass, right? What they are doing is they are a cryptocurrency that allows users to share their unused internet bandwidth and earn rewards. Through an extension on the web browser, like the Grass extension. Okay, so just turn it on and let them farm your unused internet bandwidth, and you earn rewards. VANA, on the other hand, they use your actual personal data from social posts, finance, health, and everything, and you have to contribute your data to different DataDAOs that each has different data requirements and incentives. So, in theory, VANA is much more complicated than Grass. Grass just turn on one extension, click of a button, let it run in the background. In VANA, on the other hand, you have to choose different datas, different DAOs, and you have to, weigh, which DAO is more profitable, better performance than, the other DAOs. So that's a little bit more complicated. But with that, complexity comes more incentivizations. For example, Grass, let's say Grass has like 100 million users, right? And they all contribute their own computing or internet bandwidth to the network. Then you have to compete with the remaining 99,999,000 users, all right, for Grass points and a Grass token, for a share of incentives and rewards. But on VANA, let's say VANA has 100 million users, but you don't compete with the entire 100 million users. You only compete with the DataDAO users that you put your data with. You know what I mean? So let's say you want to contribute your Reddit data, then you only need to compete with the Reddit data users, who also contribute. You don't compete with the finance users. So there is different incentives. You know what I mean? And so that's very cool, right? And the second difference is that Grass allows verified institutions, right, to use your bandwidth, to support online services, whatever. You have no say in who are those institutions and how they use your internet bandwidth and for what reason. You have no say in it. Grass, they have every say in it. Okay, your contributions are calculated through something called the Grass points, and with the Grass points, it determines how much Grass token you have. You cannot sell the Grass points, and you don't earn anything else with the Grass points. Okay, but for VANA, you can vote on who can use your data, how, and basically what types of data. You can vote on who they are. Okay, and your contributions are calculated and tracked as the DLP tokens that you can sell and trade on open marketplaces. And you can actually earn two things, not just one, like Grass points. So that is the major difference. And the third difference is, and I think this is so big that I think you're gonna like, is there are a lot more ways to earn, okay, with VANA. So much more opportunities to earn with VANA than Grass. Because think about it, Grass only use your internet bandwidth, okay, so you can browse the internet, whatever, and leave it on. But on VANA, you can monetize your contents, your data in like a bunch of ways. Your transaction history, finance, your health, your social media posts, and different platforms. Like if you're active on Reddit, on X, you can basically monetize your contents on both Reddit and on separate DAOs on X, right? So like just think about the endless possibilities of earning, right, potentials on VANA, right? And I'm just trying to say, like, it's just crazy. And that is what VANA is, okay, in depth. I know that it's a bit lengthy, but I try to explain it the best way that I can, okay? If you still have any questions about what VANA is and whatever, leave it down in the comments. I will make sure to answer it all, okay? Follow us and subscribe to our channel and use our referral links down below as well. Thank you very much. Moving on to the VANA token use cases. So there are, I believe, the 4 main use cases from VANA. First of all is the network security through validator staking. Yeah, so easy enough, right? You buy a VANA, stake it in, become a validator, earn rewards. And the second utility is the transaction fee payments for network operations. It's a layer 1, so use VANA as a gas fee. The third one is DLP staking, which determines the emission rewards for different DataDAOs. So yeah, VANA is also the token rewards for the DLP staking, okay? And the final one is the required currency for purchasing access to data across all DLPs. So this is mainly specifically for AI companies and AI researchers. If they want to access our data, then they need to purchase VANA, right, to access our data, and plus, you know, give incentives to the DataDAO, right? Look at that, right? If you want to access, must use VANA to purchase and burn the DLP tokens. And moving on to the final part, we're gonna look at the Binance Launchpool of VANA and then predicting the price. So here are some of the Launchpool details from VANA. The max supply of VANA is 120 million tokens. Okay, interesting supply. The total Genesis token supply is 93.87% of the max token supply. The Launchpool token rewards is about 4% of the max token supply. This amount is average on the Binance Launchpool, so nothing too much to mention here. The initial circulating supply when listed on Binance Spot. Now this is interesting because probably VANA is the project that has the most amount of circulating supply throughout all of the recent Binance Launchpool projects. So other Binance Launchpool projects, they either have like 10, 11, 12% in initial circulating supply. VANA has up to 25%, 25.07% to be specific. That's a lot. Yeah, it is a layer 1 network. Hourly hard cap, blah blah blah. If you want to earn on the Binance Launchpool, you have to lock BNB or lock FDUSD. And if you want to do that, very simple, just click on more, go to Launchpool, and you will see it, right? You would have, I believe, 2 days to earn by the time I'm making this video, you have 2 days to earn. Or you can follow the link down in the description, to support BSC Daily and support us. So thank you very much for using the link. Now, the most interesting part, the price prediction of VANA token. So this is their tokenomics, all right? 120 million supply, and blah blah. If you go down here, then you're gonna see a detailed breakdown. So this is how they distribute it, okay? The community is 44%. Amazing. Okay. However, there is a locking period. Ecosystem 22.9%, also a locking period. The core contributors 18.8%. There is a 5-year vesting schedule, 1-year cliff, 4-year unlock. That's crazy, right? And the investors is 14.2%, 4-year vesting, 1 cliff, and 3 unlock. They are serious. They are locking this shit really, really long. I like it. I've looked at VANA and I've looked at other similar protocols like that's mostly dealing in data and AI, right? So I specifically look at 3 projects, okay, and I compare VANA to it. So first of all is the Graph protocol. Their market cap is about 800 million. When launching, it was 800 million, right, at the high of launching, and 900 million actually, almost $1 billion. Okay, and now they're moving within $800 million. And the next project that I looked into is Ether. They are at about $430 million. However, when they, I like TGE, it was only like $300 million, right, in market cap. And then the third project I looked into is IONET. I believe they share the most similarities to VANA. VANA, if you remember, they raised $25 million, right, from Coinbase, Polychain Paradigm, right, and they are on the Binance Launchpool. Okay, IO.net, they raised about $30 million. Okay, and they're also on the Binance Launchpool. Okay, so similar amount of fundraising, and also on the Launchpool. And if you look at IO.net, you know, they were at about $600 million in market cap after on Binance at the high, and then it slowly went down to like 170 million, and now trading at about $540 million in market cap. Okay, so around, let's say, $550 million in market cap. For VANA, I would say that they're going to be at a similar, you know, amount. So you can see, right, the three AI or deep-in data project that we looked into, they varies from 450 to like $800 million in market cap. I would put VANA personally at the middle of it, all right, about $550 million in market cap to $600 million in market cap after listing on Binance. So 25.07, so 30 million tokens approximately. It's going to be around $18, okay, maybe up to $21. And then, depending on the market, you know, the price might fluctuate down to about $16, even $15, $14. All right. Again, depending on the market. Right now, altcoin season is going to be near, right? So I think VANA can reach like $20, $21 easily. And that's my video about VANA. I hope that you learned a thing or two about VANA. I hope that you liked the video. If you do, make sure to subscribe to Coinwire and like the video, share it to your friends. That really helps the channel growth and help me bring more contents like this to you guys. And, you know, also comment down below what you think about VANA, about the price, you know, about, you know, how it works, whatever, right? I'll make sure to reply everything and answer everything. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Use our referral link to the Binance Launchpool for VANA right now down in the description and earn your VANA token. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Love you. Bye.